coach Adia Barnes said that one of the keys to tonight's game is being able to handle the ball efficiently. The Mustangs can stay poised and limit turnovers. They have a chance to win their first conference of the season.
Thank you so much, Bree. And making matters even more difficult is the fact that SMU is without 4 players, most of them guards for this game. Jazzy Gibson, the freshman, has only played 22 minutes in 5 games all season, gets the first start of her career, pulls down the rebound, hands it off to Zara King, and she starts by going right to the rack with a left hand.
Well, I mentioned earlier she's scored over 20 in last 2 games for the Mustangs, starting out hot here tonight.
Another chance to see this starting lineup for Virginia Tech. The Hokies going with this here recently. Freelon inside, Wenzel, Wells, Nelson, and Baker. It's worked well the last 2 games for Virginia Tech. They've won each of their last 2, each by more than 20, including 1 win on the road against Syracuse. Late in the shot clock, Wells gives it up, but she's called for 3 in the lane, and the Hokies 0 for 1, and then turning it over. 2 good defensive possessions by SMU.
Yeah, very disciplined defensive efforts by SMU on those first 2 Hokie possessions. Good movement by the SMU D on the offside.
Ayana Thompson, playing the 100th game of her collegiate career, gets a start along with Anaya Brown, Grace Hall, Zara King, and then Jazzy Gibson getting her first start. Thompson, the transfer from Ole Miss, leaves it just a little short, but she got to the rack.
Well, beautiful move by Thompson, like the way she split the maroon-shirted defenders.
Not a great outside shooting team in Virginia Tech, or at least not high volume, but Layla Wells, who only shoots 19% this season, hits the outside shot.
Well, she was cocked and ready to go right there. They found her, and she was wide open. She drilled it.
Underneath, Anaya Brown, the transfer from UT Martin, comes up empty. And what Virginia Tech really likes to do is get out in transition. And Kyla Freelon, the transfer from Texas Tech, has her first 2.
Well, that was a nice job looking up the floor quickly, getting the long pass for the Hokies. SMU has got to get back in transition D. That's a big problem when you only have 2 true guards out there tonight.
Only 2 true guards, only 3 coming off the bench. King is blocked, trying to go on the reverse as Karis Baker comes over and rejects it. Karis Baker, the junior from West Hartford, Connecticut, the daughter of Vin Baker.
Well, nice move by King right there on the baseline.
And it was actually Freelon 0 and not 10 that made the block. And for Freelon, it gives her 26 blocks this season. That's a new career high for her. She also had 25 last year for Texas Tech. She's had a marvelous year for the Hokies as SMU loses it out near the sideline.
Well, you saw those quick hands by Mackie Nelson for the Hokies that time. They play tough pressure D. That's why they're considered one of the top defensive teams in the ACC, holding opponents to only 58 per game.
And there's a foul out front, the first on SMU, and that's definitely something to watch in this game, right? The potential foul trouble for the Mustangs.
Well, I'm really impressed with SMU's defense, but at the same time, I'm very surprised they did not open this game in a zone defense. Try to slow down Virginia Tech a little bit, and zones also protect from excessive fouls.
Jazzy Gibson picking up the foul, and then there's a foul on another guard. It goes against King. One thing Adia Barnes will tell you is I hate zone. Absolutely hate it with a passion. Don't want to play it ever, but she may have to. So.
Well, sometimes it's a necessity, and we're probably going to have to see that from SMU here tonight. She's not a zone coach. We all know that. She had great success with man-to-man D at Arizona.
Wenzel curling down to the right side baseline, unable to hit the shot. The rebound was brought out by SMU, stolen away by Virginia Tech, but then Freelon threw it away. Let's look at the keys to the game tonight.
Well, certainly for SMU, you look down there, they got to do a good job on the defensive boards. Freelon has 61 offensive rebounds herself. They've got to control Baker and Wenzel, and then Virginia Tech, they need to play good three-point D against Zara King.
Layla Wells opening up the defense on Zara King, who has the only 2 for SMU. Since then, it's been all Virginia Tech. King on her way to the bucket, fed right into a block shot by Baker, and here comes Virginia Tech.
Well, a great collapsing team defense by Virginia Tech on that drive for SMU, but how about Wenzel coming right back for the Hokies? the only Texan on this team. She's from San Antonio. She leads the ball club in threes made with 31 on the year.
She said she was so excited to play in Texas, has a lot of family in attendance, even though San Antonio is a good 4.5, 5 hours away, depending on traffic, but they have shown up in force to watch Carly Wenzel do her thing for Virginia Tech. And an 8-2 start for Virginia Tech. A kick ball out front that'll go against Baker. 20 on the shot clock for SMU.
We're going to have a chance to see Wenzel on this three-point shot. Nice kick out. Takes her time, just drills it. Nothing but net. She's a 35% three-point shooter on the year.
How about Anaya Brown really forcing the issue going to the rack?
A nice move by Brown. SMU needs her to do that quite often tonight. All the contributions will add up.
Kenzie Nelson brings it up the floor for Virginia Tech. Number 3 of the point guard. Ball through the hands of Wenzel. A turnover on the Hokies.
Nice pressure defense by Ayanna Thompson that time for the Mustangs. Got out there in the passing lane, creating havoc.
Hokies have everybody that will be available this season available for this game. And coming in for the first time in the contest, Samaya Suffren off the bench. A third-year redshirt sophomore out of Charlotte and the Cannon School. Meanwhile, also coming into the game for the first time is Mel Daly, a graduate transfer from Northwestern. Thompson with 13 to shoot, crossing into the paint, and she is bumped and fouled, headed to the hole, and earns foul shots off the foul by Carly Wenzel.
SMU's doing a nice job of finding the cracks in the defense of Virginia Tech. Nice drive once again by Thompson.
Wenzel's first, team's first. SMU has only 3 players to bring off the bench, and one is coming in now in Sanaya Ja.
This is quite a challenge for the Mustangs. When you have 4 of your top 6 leading scorers for the season not suited out for various reasons of illness or injury, that is quite a challenge.
Yeah, SMU has already been without Ty Skinner. This is going to be her 8th straight game miss. This is the 5th game missed for Kyla Deck. Janiyah Harriel is unavailable for this one, and so is Paulina Paris because of illness. SMU immediately goes into the press after the 2 made free throws by Ayanna Thompson. Hokies able to break it. Wenzel has to pick up the dribble, though. Skip pass over the top. Baker, their best three-point shooter, comes up short, but the rebound grabbed by Freelon, one of the most adept offensive rebounders in the league.
That was nice defensive pressure by Ja on that three-point effort by Baker.
And Ja knocks it away, but then kicks it out, trying to come up with the pick.
Ja has that determined look on her face tonight. She had a rather poor game for her against North Carolina State when she only had 2 points and 3 rebounds. You see Ja right there hustling hard for the loose ball.
But if she can find success early in matchups, that tends to give her confidence.
Yes, she's a very aggressive player.
5 to shoot it. Through the lane at Freelon. Nobody stops her. Kyla Freelon out of Denver, by way of Texas Tech, where she spent 3 years in Lubbock, has 4.
Well, she's a terrific rebounder. Talked early, she has 61 offensive boards on the year.
Smooth looking shot in and out for Thompson. And on the rebound, it's knocked out. Last touch by Virginia Tech. Nothing but maroon shirts there, but SMU is going to come out with it as Megan Duffy, the second-year head coach of the Hokies, looks on.
Well, this is the first time this year we've seen Thompson and Brown both have the opportunity to take more three-point shots than usual because there's not as many guards on the floor. Their productivity is very important tonight.
Yeah, Thompson out of the corner, online but in and out. Mel Daly crashes in for the rebound, and here comes Wenzel, who had 21 against SMU in a win at home last week. Suffren right down the baseline, but comes up short, and Gibson pulls down the Karaman. Looks to push pace with SMU down by 4.
Nice job by Suffren using that quick speed of hers to beat SMU down the baseline. Mustangs fortunate to come away without giving up points.
King stepping back, launching the 3. Comes up short, one of the top three-point shooters in the league. Quick outlet to Wenzel, in transition against Gibson. Misses, and then Thompson pulls down the rebound. Up the floor to John. Nobody got back for Virginia Tech. And SMU a bucket in transition to make it a 2-point game.
Well, let's see if that gives Ja some confidence right there. Many times an easy bunny layup like that will work wonders for a player that struggled in the last game like she did against North Carolina State. She was only 0 for 9 from the field.
Certainly a game, again, where SMU is outmanned, but they're giving some great effort early on. Suffren curling up, but coming up short. Offensive rebound, Freelon already her third. In the paint, Baker faces up, goes up against Ja, drops it over the rim, but no good.
Well, terrific blocking out, continuing for SMU. We said one of the keys was keep the Hokies off the offensive glass. So far, SMU is doing it quite well.
Both teams at 7 rebounds so far. Chance to tie or take the lead on this trip. And Brown called for the travel, trying to make her drive from the free throw line. But a competitive start here in Dallas. SMU down to only 8 healthy players, trailing Virginia Tech, a team on a winning streak of 2, 10-8.
Coliseum, Virginia Tech leads 10-8 over SMU. Coach Duffy said that her decision to coach at Virginia Tech last season was not about leaving a good situation, because she had one previously coaching at Marquette, but she said if she was going to make the jump, it had to be somewhere truly special, and she found that in Blacksburg. She was drawn to the ACC and to a program she watched explode on the national stage, from a Final Four run to College game day. She said she saw a Virginia Tech fan base that put women's basketball first, and Coach Duffy says that passion paired with sustained success convinced her this is a place she could keep pushing the program forward, and she's been doing that, Jim.
No doubt about it. She has a great background, 4-year point guard at Notre Dame. Great history in her basketball development.
Of course, played under Muffet McGraw and then has had some great success, as you mentioned as well, Bree, at Marquette. Last year, a WBIT tournament appearance, looking to make it an NCAA tournament appearance this season. Right now, they're part of the next 4 out, according to Charlie Cream. Little hook shot inside by Grace Hall, in and out, and the rebound jostled loose. And and out of bounds. The officials have different calls, and we'll see what they go with.
That's a nice move.
It is.
Nice move by Hall right here. Read the defense very well. Looked over that right shoulder. Used that left hand as she should have. Just didn't reward herself with the accurate kiss off the glass.
So they changed the call. Say it's off of Grace Hall. SMU fell down by an 8-2 score, but they've battled back a bit. Freelon has 4 points, 4 rebounds. Handoff to Daly, rises and kisses one home from the elbow.
Boy, what a great stop-start for the great shot right there, just over the well-positioned SMU defense.
Well, Daly, fantastic score. The only scorer on the Virginia Tech team with more than 1,000 points in her career. And a pick by Samaya Sufferin takes it right to the rack. She leads the team in steals, almost 2 a game.
Yeah, that basket by Daly a while ago. She, of course, played very successfully in the Big Ten for Northwestern.
So SMU has turned it over 4 times now. That was a big focus coming in. Could they stay away from the turnover, especially against a pressure defensive team in Virginia Tech? Thompson on the baseline, running out of time. Ja has to launch from deep and comes up short.
Well, not a good possession, obviously, for SMU. Not enough body movement or ball movement.
Daly takes the bump, misses on the run. Rebound tapped out, last touch by Virginia Tech.
Well, SMU only had 2 turnovers in the first 6.5 minutes of this game, but 2 more quickly here. Mustangs, as you said, John, they have got to prevent flurries of turnovers against this terrific defensive team for Virginia Tech.
Freelon turned an ankle last time out and only played 20 minutes. Good to see her out there, but player that didn't play last time out was Cale Peterson, and she's on for the first time. She took a hard knock against Syracuse. That's the reason she is wearing that protective mask. As Sanaya Ja is stripped, headed to the hole, looking for a holding call. Instead, it's just dislodged by Virginia Tech.
She probably did get bumped right there, but these officials are letting them play here tonight. We've got a good officiating crew: Jeff Wooten, Jules Gallion, and Karen Preto. Very experienced group on the women's college hoop scene.
Zara King backs her way in. 8 to shoot now. Gibson late in the shot clock, has never tried a shot in her SMU career and has it knocked away. 2.5 to shoot for the Mustangs.
Well, nobody inside whatsoever for the Mustangs that time. 5 on the perimeter and not enough movement. The second straight possession where SMU had no movement toward the basket.
And the Mustangs down 4 players in this game due to injury or illness. Quick pass into Ja. Kisses it off the glass and no. Rebound on the ground. Ja going for it along with a couple other players. It's finally picked out by Ja, but she's called for being out of bounds after that hustle move to the baseline.
Well, I like Ja's effort here tonight, playing so hard for the Mustangs, knowing they're shorthanded. She's certainly doing her part with the effort.
Tried to get into that tie-up situation with Mackenzie Nelson. Virginia Tech with the 6-point advantage, final minute of the opening quarter.
SMU in a zone defense now for the first time in tonight's ball game. Got it to Baker. Nice job by Virginia Tech getting the ball in the right place quickly against the 2-3 zone.
The Hokies a good defensive team, able to come up with the offensive rebound. Daly keeps the play alive, scoops it to the hoop and finishes through contact and has a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, very unfortunate break for SMU. Looked like they easily had the defensive rebound, but terrific job that time by Daly. She's coming in and making a big impact for the Hokies quickly.
So the foul call for SMU is the 3rd team foul. It looks like Thompson was the one that was in the area. And that 3rd team foul on the Mustangs in the quarter. So Mel Daly with a chance to complete the 3-point play. Came off the bench last couple games. Had 10 points against Boston College in 22 minutes of work.
Well, very clean game so far. Only 3 fouls for SMU, 1 for Virginia Tech.
77% free throw shooter. Misses on the and one opportunity. King, the leading scorer for SMU, having to handle the ball today as well. King ripping inside, unable to knock it down. Rebound by Freelon, quick outlet pass. Here comes Mackie Nelson. Nelson needs players to join.
SMU much better getting back in transition defense this time.
And now with the shot clock off, Virginia Tech, they look for the final shot of the quarter. High screen, Nelson off the glass and long. Rebound brought down by Brown with 3 seconds with 2. Sanaya Ja from midcourt, just off to the right. It looked good to her, and it nearly did go. But Virginia Tech finishes the first quarter on a 6-0 run and takes an 8-point lead to the break at the end of a very competitive first quarter in Dallas. Adia Barnes in her first year at SMU. In the middle of that circle, a tighter circle of trust for today's game because of the illness and injury, and SMU trailing Virginia Tech 16-8 early on. Barnes in her first season after coming over after her 9 years as the head coach at Arizona and 4 NCAA tournament appearances in her time in Tucson.
Well, she has a reputation that is highly respected across the country, and certainly I'm impressed with the way she's handled this adversity, especially here tonight. I have great empathy for her. You know, all the years I coached, John, I never had a situation where 4 of my top 6 players were not available. This is a heck of a challenge for SMU to try to overcome here tonight.
It is, and they're certainly doing their best to play as hard as they can, but they did miss their final 6 shots of the first quarter, so make it 7 straight misses. Haven't scored in about 4.5 minutes, and the Hokies started, or wrapped up the quarter, I should say, on a 6-0 run as Kyla Freelon gets physical inside the paint. She has 6.
Well, she is so strong, has a great presence in the paint, knows how to use her body. Very smart player.
Shooting a career best 54% this season for Virginia Tech. Her head coach Megan Duffy says, just reminds her of Tigger from Pooh. You know, just always bouncing around, doing something positive. Jazzy Gibson getting her first start. Quick shot by Grace Hall, off the mark and cleared by Daly.
Well, that was a nice kick out by Gibson to free the shot up for the Mustangs off the left baseline.
Freelon could not handle the hot pass coming from Carly Wenzel. Zara King going to the right hand this time, but blows the layup inside. She is a lefty by nature.
I think King was just shocked. She was so wide open on that. Just got a little too excited to not get the easy kiss off the glass.
Jazzy Gibson tracks down the long rebound. Stick is good, and a foul in transition. The first shot attempt in the career of Jazzy Gibson, an and one in hustle fashion.
Well, she did a terrific job of having good concentration following this shot all the way through the net. How about that? Your first shot in traffic in the ACC against Virginia Tech. Terrific job by the freshman from Duncanville High School right here south of Dallas.
And the entire bench, all three of them up and on their feet for Jazzy in this one. But in all seriousness, Gibson originally from Albuquerque, played her final couple seasons at Duncanville. Now SMU gets the fortunate turnover and has the chance to make it a run.
A nice job by Thompson getting her teammates set up here. Missing Paulina Paris tonight, who would usually be out there leading the attack.
Yeah, Thompson getting a chance to play point guard in this one, which is definitely out of her element as she misses headed to the hole. Wenzel, nice pass in transition to Nelson, floating inside, grabs her own miss. It never hit the rim. Shot clock at 17.
Boy, nice job by Jaw coming for help defensively on that last effort by the Hokies.
Hand off to Nelson, wrap around inside. Freelon finishes. Mackie Nelson averages almost 6 assists per game, second best in the league.
Well, Freelon in the right place, the right time right there to handle that nice pass.
And Nelson's second assist, Freelon with 8.6 rebounds already. She could have a monster game. It's taken away by Wenzel in the double team. A trailing Peterson on the way to the rack. It's blocked away by Brown as Daly came inside.
Boy, terrific defensive reactions by Brown that time to get the block.
Brown leads the team in blocks this season, top 10 in the league. Open look at a three by Nelson. Cranks it, and Brown comes down with the rebound.
Well, Brown playing very well right now, taking advantage of the opportunity to get more minutes here tonight.
Two-time first-team All-Ohio Valley Conference player as part of UT Martin's program, so she's played a big role in programs before in her career. Ten-point lead as Brown comes downhill, gets stripped away by Freelon, and Nelson out in transition, looking for players to join. An ill-advised pass, easily stolen by Thompson. Thompson sees Brown. Brown inside, blocked and fouled by Cale Peterson.
Nice job in transition by two true forwards right there, getting it done for the Mustangs, getting it up the floor. Nice passing. Look at Thompson right here, finding Brown, breaking to the bucket, doing a nice job of filling that right outside lane in transition. Good work by the Mustangs in the open floor.
And SMU brings Elizaveta Filchagada in for the first time, the freshman forward from Moscow, as Brown heads to the line. A career 76% foul shooter with almost 450 attempts to her name. Makes good on the first.
Yeah, Brown has played in 17 games for the Mustangs this year out of the 18. Started 7 of them. Getting the opportunity for more minutes here tonight, though, out of necessity.
A lot of players getting a lot of big minutes for SMU. They are down to just 8 players in this game. Back into the zone, but trying to force the issue. Wenzel steps into a wing three. And bringing down the rebound is Mel Daly. Suffering into the paint, leaves it short. Filchagada trying to pull away the rebound and has it dislodged, and it stays with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Filchagada certainly had good position that time, just didn't take her body through that rebound. Right, watch right here, just reached up instead of going all the way through it to secure it for the Mustangs.
Hokies trying to be patient against the zone. Baker, high-low feed into Freeline. High-low offense has been a key part of what the Hokies have done this season.
You want to know how to attack a 2-3 zone? You just saw it right there. Baker flashed to the free throw line area. You get it there against the 2-3, you are going to make a lot of good things happen. The Hokies did.
Hokies moved the ball really well. Brown drops through the three after the paint touch by Ja. Anaya Brown hits the straight up top triple.
Now, how about that? 29% three-point shooter. Looked like a 50% shooter on that effort. Perfect form for Brown.
A lot of players for SMU having to do different things than normal tonight. Suffren misses, headed to the hole. Freeline, or rather it's Baker that is hobbling around. Deep two is down for Mel Daly. And we'll keep an eye on Baker, who's trying to stay in the matchup even though she's hobbling a bit.
Well, Daly has come in the game and done a terrific job for the Hokies. 6 points now, 5 rebounds.
Get it to the hot hand in Brown. She has 5 points this quarter, and she is fouled, headed to the bucket. A blocking foul called against Karis Baker.
Well, Brown and Thompson both playing so aggressively. Here you see the good effort with the quick move to the basket, going back to the charity stripe for the Mustangs.
Smart play to attack Baker, who had come up hobbled on the last play, and Anaya Brown, who scored the last 5 for SMU, heads to the line as Sanaya Ja takes a seat. Jazzy Gibson rejoins.
Brown already has 7 points to lead the scoring for the Mustangs here tonight, to go along with 3 rebounds. Playing exceptionally well. Very impressive. 6'1" senior.
Now, when we asked Adia Barnes about a week ago who was standing out as far as who is doing everything that you asked them to do, who is, giving every effort that they have, and she really pointed out Anaya Brown, who is really playing through a back injury right now and giving everything she has to be out there.
Well, not only her, but this entire team so far tonight, very impressive in their effort.
Makes it a 7-point game. Virginia Tech on a 2-game winning streak, winning both of those games by 20 or more. In fact, all 3 of their ACC wins have been by 20+. Wing 3 over the top by Suffren. A good open look, but Hall pulls down to Karam. Pitches it out to King, who only has 2 points.
Yeah, she hit the first 2 points of the game, but Virginia Tech's defense is focused on her.
And Brown called for 3 in the lane there. A turnover on SMU to take us to a timeout. Virginia Tech holding SMU at bay, a shorthanded Mustangs team trying to play with a very good Virginia Tech squad. Kyla Freelon has had some real flashes of greatness this season for Virginia Tech, including in the first half here in Dallas.
Well, the 6'1" senior transfer from Texas Tech getting it done magnificently. How about 5 made field goals out of 5 attempts? She's also got 6 rebounds, the first double-figure score in tonight's ball game, hurting the Mustangs in many ways.
Go ahead and add 2 blocks and 2 steals in this one as well. This season averaging a career-high 9.5 points. 8.5 rebounds, and then, 27 blocks as well, which is a career best, too.
Add on the fact that she's second in the ACC in offensive rebounding, so quite a year for Freelon so far.
Absolutely, and a big part of the reason Virginia Tech is better as a defensive team this season as well, and they have improved leaps and bounds there, too. Entry into Freelon, and she is fouled. Got to slither inside of Grace Hall, who got her on the left arm. Freelon to the line.
Well, watch this penetration by Suffren. This is really a nice job, Suffren, splitting the Mustang 2-3 zone and getting a little drop-off pass inside to Freelon. Just beautiful execution by the Hokies. They are doing a good job of attacking SMU zone.
SMU mixing it in there with the 8 players at their disposal today. Freelon up to 12 points after going 2 of 2.
Well, we know Coach Barnes does not like the zone defense, but
What's going on? Welcome into this ACC Network halftime report alongside former NC State great Kai Crutchfield and former Cal great Laisha Clarendon. I'm Kelsey Riggs-Cuff. It is good to be with you. Hope you've enjoyed the first half so far. And we want to talk, speaking of halves, about halfway through the season, we've got our Wooden Award watch list. Top 25 players have been recognized, and they're two from the ACC. You see Camille Pierre, the transfer, who has been doing big things for NC State, and then Hannah Hidalgo, who's been holding it down for the Irish. She's been rewriting the record books ever since she stepped foot on campus, and while she's mastered her game on the court, she's still learning about who she is off of it and proving that it's never too late to learn more about where you came from.
Welcome to Spain, USA gold medal matchup. Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame.
I'm playing for the USA team. We just beat Spain in Spain right after the gold medal game. I hear like all these Hispanics just chanting my last name.
Wait till the butt door. Don't come out.
I step outside and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
There's this whole crew of people just yelling, Hidalgo, Hidalgo, Hidalgo. They were like, she's one of us and we love her.
Basketball has always been my escape. Whether it's like a hard day at home or a hard day at school, I can always just go to the court and just be able to forget about everything. There we go! I've been told this so many times. They're like, man, you're so mean and scary and nasty, like on the court. Hell yeah, that's tough! But like when you get off the court, you're so laid back. Let's go to play, baby.
Hey, Smith, finish that. Hey, that's good.
And I used to play outside against the boys, scraped elbows, knees. We were just so aggressive.
She's got 7 more shots to make for the next drill. Let's go, I'm on you.
Growing up in this household, growing up against people that talk so crazy all the time. Oh, yes, sir. Hesitated.
Hey.
In your mouth, shorty.
In your mitt, boy. Stop talking and tie your shoes up. Yeah. Let's go. Where we at?
I'm like, I'm not about to lose. I'm not losing or they're going to sit there and talk all day. Stop playing with me. Having that and playing against them definitely shaped me to be the player I am today.
Nice steal, one of the best in the country.
10 straight games for Hidalgo with 20 or more points. That is a Notre Dame record. She's knocked down a few of them.
Greatness personified. She is on pace to be one of the best in Notre Dame history.
This is what I remember when I went to Puerto Rico. Yeah.
I'm Puerto Rican. We are very energetic. I remember going to cookouts and it was loud, it was dancing, it was food.
It's always been in her, but now she's really embracing her Hispanic side.
She really kind of gained interest and she wanted to know more about the culture.
I'm just so fascinated by learning a new language and just learning the culture.
In our culture, you know, our parents always talk Spanish.
But why don't you teach us from young?
Well, because here's the thing. Once I got with your mom, it was just talking
Mom,
English.
it's all your fault.
Everything is my fault. Everything is my fault.
Why are you always messing it up?
Exactly, everything is my fault.
When I met your mom didn't know no Spanish at all. So it was just like English all the time. So I got used to just speaking English.
Why did you say I want my kids to know Spanish?
Because again,
I told him that constantly.
It was easier to communicate.
Did Mom tell you that constantly, Dad?
He was like, you don't speak
To
Spanish.
teach us Spanish?
No, she didn't.
Well, somebody's
She didn't.
lying. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about my background, my language, my culture. Puerto Rican, Hispanics, we ride for each other.
For Hannah to be a Puerto Rican descent and playing basketball, breaking records and stuff like that, where it's predominantly either black or white, it's something really special.
For younger girls, especially of Hispanic heritage, to see somebody that looks like them, the best way that I can inspire them is by my actions and what they see, whether that's hard work or my accomplishments. If you can see it, then you can go get it.
What an incredible look inside at her family. Every time I see Hannah, I want more of her. Now I want more of her family too after seeing that feature. And Laisha, there's so many different things that she does well, but she's taken her game to another level again this year. How has she grown in your eyes?
I think the biggest point that I love about Hannah Hidalgo's growth this year is that she's taking better shots. Frankly, last year she took some ill-advised shots. She's a high-volume shooter, period, but I think her growth this season has been higher quality shots and learning to read the defense a bit better when they do double team her, looking for that teammate.
And just speaking onto that, her defense has also turned into her offense. When you think Notre Dame, you think Hannah Hidalgo, and that's just point blank period. How she impacts this team without the ball, with the ball, she's just a force to be reckoned with.
That defense is so hard, and it leads to so many good things on the offensive side for Notre Dame as well. What more can she do as they continue to grow when she's already doing so much?
I mean, continue to carry the team, stay healthy, I think is the number one thing she can do for her squad, and then continue to manipulate the defense. So you know they're going to double team you, so she's a smart, high IQ player. Start to bait those people to set up your other teammates.
And you talk about setting the bar even higher. I mean, she already has a whole bunch of accolades under her belts, but continuing to have that family concept with her teammates means a lot for that program.
And when you say family to her, you know it means a lot because you just got a little inside look at where that all comes from. So congratulations to her on all the success thus far, and we know she will continue doing great things for the Irish, and we'll continue to talk about it here on ACC PM Monday through Thursday. We got you covered at 6 p.m. with an hour-long show. Fridays at 5 right here on ACC Network and streaming on the ESPN app. Second half coming your way next.
The Pegasus in downtown Dallas. You see that SMU bucket did not count at the end of the first half, and Virginia Tech has a 13-point lead at the break over SMU. Welcome back into Moody Coliseum with Jim Haller. I'm John Little. Hey, first half, really competitive, a really high-spirited game in the first half.
Well, both teams playing very, very physical, but here's the deal. We know SMU is short a lot of offensive firepower here tonight because of injury or illness, but give Virginia Tech credit. Their defense has been phenomenal, and they've forced SMU into 12 turnovers. They've got to have a drastic decrease there.
Well, they're a solid team. They're playing well. We told you right off the bat about Kyla Freeland. Let's talk about her some more because she had a great first half.
Well, that's an understatement. In a super first half. 12 points, 6 rebounds, made 5 out of 6 shots. Played so well in all phases of the game. We're seeing her here move very well without the basketball. Here getting a terrific block. Watch that quick move on the baseline, using that left hand to get the finish. Very impressive.
Now for SMU, somebody had to step up and do more than they normally do, and Anaya Brown's doing it.
Well, she's doing it with 9 points, has 4 rebounds. You can take a look and see her lengthening the defense out there for Virginia Tech, but Brown just drills it out front, so nice job popping out quickly for the Mustangs.
Our Bree Sorensen caught up with Adia Barnes to get some halftime adjustments from the Mustang perspective.
Yeah, I just spoke to Coach Barnes, and she had 2 main keys that she wants to see differently in this second half. And first, they need to box out. They cannot have Virginia Tech have 10 offensive rebounds. And then on the other end, she said they have to finish at the rim. She said in that first half, they were 4 for 13 in layups at the rim. So they have to be able to finish to be able to get their points up. And she said that they are playing scrappy. They're playing with great energy. She does love how the way the team is driving with that energy. They just need to be able to finish their layups.
Well, here's the deal, though. They're going up against a Virginia Tech team that just doesn't give much up defensively. Opponents only shoot 38% against the Hokies from 2-point range. That's 11th best in the country. And so, no, you do not want to give it to be 31% from a layup land. But that's what Virginia Tech does to a lot of teams as Karis Baker opens up the second half with a smooth stroke.
Well, we saw Baker go out in the first half with a probable injury, but she's back full speed now. Beautiful job by the Southpaw, popping to the head of the circle, drilling it for the first points of the second half.
The daughter of 15-year NBA vet and 4-time All-Star Vin Baker. Never thought I'd see the daughter of a player I had a rookie card of growing up, in a basketball game. That doesn't make me old or anything. Wetzel out of the corner for 3. Back-to-back triples for Virginia Tech to start the second half. Can't do it better.
Well, great spacing and great ball movement for Virginia Tech. Always remember now, not making excuses for SMU, but they only have 2 guards available tonight. It's be a big adjustment for SMU to overcome that deficiency. Well,
Megan Duffy's team, as SMU calls a timeout, comes out incredibly focused and ready to go, knocking down back-to-back triples out of the break. And Virginia Tech is doubling up SMU in Dallas. 1 minute into the second half, Virginia Tech up on SMU 38-19 with Jim Haller and Bree Sorensen and the whole crew. I'm John Little here on the ACC Network. Virginia Tech, a very good team as SMU is called for an offensive foul. Thompson pushing off, and things continue to go against the Mustangs, and this Hokie team is really engaged to start the second half.
Yeah, and Wetzel, give her credit. She did a little acting job right there as Thompson pushed her off, but regardless, the Hokies basketball, very smart play for Virginia Tech.
I mean, just scrappiness to the max, reflecting the attitude of their head coach, Megan Duffy, as she was a fantastic undersized player back in her day. Another three, this time by Baker, make it 3 straight out of the gate in the second half.
Yeah, and 2 of those by Baker, one from the head of the circle, the other from the right wing. I said early on, very, very versatile players, showing us why that description works right now.
Inside out movement, and Brown has a chance at a 4-point play. Anaya Brown in double figs for only the second time this season.
Well, Brown definitely taking advantage of the opportunity she has here tonight, getting more minutes of action because of all the injuries. Look at this nice kick out by King. Beautiful release by Brown. Nice job for the Mustangs on that possession.
And that's why you talk about getting a paint touch, Coach. Just
Absolutely.
Get the ball into the paint.
Well, and Virginia Tech has done a good job of keeping SMU from getting it to the paint. Held the Mustangs to only 25% shooting in the first half, but how about that 4-point play by Brown? Now the leading scorer in the game with 13 points.
And that is her second most as a Mustang. She had 15 against St. Louis earlier this season. SMU in a zone. And the ball is kicked out front by Thompson.
Now repeating now, we all know Coach Adia Barnes does not like zone, but in case somebody's just tuning in, injuries deluxe for the Mustangs tonight, forcing different things to take place. Zone defense being one of those.
Yeah, they were already figuring to be without Ty Skinner. Kyla Deck is still out, and then Janiyah Harriel not available. Neither is Paulina Paris, and that's a walk against the point guard, Mackie Nelson.
A 9th turnover of the ball game for Virginia Tech. SMU has I believe 12 in the ball game.
And there's a look at the, I was going to say walking wounded, but sitting wounded for the SMU Mustangs over there, and some not even pictured because they might be on the contagious side tonight. Thompson has gotten some time as a ball handler in this one. King moving to her strong side.
Well, a great defense there by Freelon, coming out and helping on the screen out high.
And Brown showing her array of moves, but unable to hit the shot inside. That's another layup missed by SMU.
Well, that's what Coach Barnes talked to Bree about at halftime. They've got to make those gift baskets that are there for their taking, but they're missing way too many layups.
And this one is last touched by Grace Hall, but some good quick hands to knock it out from between the legs of Karis Baker. You know, Adia Barnes, at least, you know, the attitude and effort she talked about, just going out and doing your best on a day like today. She's got to be pleased with the effort of her team, as it's a second chance point for Karis Baker, who has 8 points since the break.
Virginia Tech continue to do a good job of getting the ball into the middle of the lane against SMU zone and then breaking down the baseline. But here Mustangs getting the call for another push-off.
Yeah, and it goes against Thompson. That is her second of the quarter.
Yeah, she got the push off on the opening inbounds pass.
And again, it's Wetzel taking the contact and drawing the charge. High-low, Baker inside, and Freelon pays dividends off the assist by Karis Baker.
Well, the most fundamental attack you can have against a 2-3 zone. Get the ball to the free throw line, break hard on the baseline, good things will happen. That's what Virginia Tech continues to do against the Mustang 2-3.
Virginia Tech absolutely storming out of the break. A 13-4 run. Backdoor pass to Thompson. Wraps it around, no. And Brown is undercut and fouled as she grabs the rebound.
Well, this is another example of a basket that SMU should have made. Thompson right there had the clear move to the bucket. Did not get the good kiss off the glass.
Those days at the office for the SMU Mustangs, they needed a lot of things to go their way. today, and they needed to take advantage of every opportunity. Shania Jaw coming in along with Miriam Abizam.
Well, we know both those players are very aggressive, so the Mustang attack will pick up on the offensive glass for sure.
Down by 22 to a Virginia Tech team that's won all 3 of their ACC victories by at least 20 points. King trying to get to that left hand again, quickly up at the hole. No, Abizam, all she does is good on the O boards, and she cleans this one up.
Well, by far the leading offensive rebounder for the Mustang. That's Jaw's 54th offensive carom of the year.
Better window washer than some of the ones we've got on the high rises here in Dallas. No good there, and Jazzy Gibson comes down with the board for SMU. Miriam Abizam, one of the top 5 offensive rebounders by volume in the league. Abizam just goes to work in the post. Nowhere to go. Finally Gibson, late in the shot clock. Hard off the heel. Freelon clears another carom.
Well, nice job by Abizam that time not to force anything. Kick the ball out as she should.
Freelon wants it back. A 14.7 rebound game. Contact by Abizam. Free throws coming for Kyla Freelon.
Well, Freelon continuing to play very impressively here tonight, doing a nice job with the left hand, going strong to the basket. King makes the Matador reach to try to slow her down. Did not work. 2 free throws now for the 6'1" senior transfer from Texas Tech.
She is closing in on a career high. Her career high in points is 18. She did it against Coastal Carolina earlier this season. Also had an 18 rebound game against Gardner-Webb, which tied the most by an ACC player this season. And that may be why she's that young lady's hero. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to her. Freelon, an 0 for 2 trip, though. Very rare for her. Good free throw shooter, too.
Very good. This team's good free throw shooting ball club, hitting 72% on the year. Mustangs 68% free throw shooters.
Knocked away by Suffern. SMU in the first half, turned it over 14 times. That's what Virginia Tech has done to people, time in and time out this year. Yeah. Top 3 in the conference in forcing turnovers.
We've talked before about SMU having started 10 different players during this season. This is a night where that experience came in handy. Every player that played so far had at least started a game.
It has definitely been an up and down year for SMU thanks to injury. Shania Jaw using her athleticism to rip through the lane. And the aggressive Jaw heads to the line for 2 shots.
Of course, we all know Jaw is one of the 2 players that came with Coach Barnes from the University of Arizona. Very aggressive. We've talked about that from start to finish here tonight. That's just her style of play. Go hard.
And Coach Barnes today, when talking to her, pointed out Maylene Rolfe also out for the season with a knee injury. Would have come over from Arizona, or did come over from Arizona with her, but has not been available this year.
And other, of course, Paulina Paris, who's out tonight. Unfortunately for the Mustangs, she had played so well in 3 of the last 4 ACC games.
Yeah, her season really coming around after a little bit of a slow start. She's been shooting it well. Both free throws good by Jaw. Nearly a pick by Gibson. Now a chance in transition for Virginia Tech, but the Hokies pull it back.
Yeah, nice transition D by SMU that time, getting back quickly.
Pull up by Suffern. Comes off, and Jaw pulls it down and tries to take it herself.
SMU may need guards, but they don't need Jaw to bring it down the floor. She's not a ball handler. She's a rebounder and an interior scorer.
Jazzy Gibson picking up her first start of her career.
You can see the attention King gets from this Virginia Tech defense. She gets attention, but her first 3 ball of the night. 49% three-point shooter on the season, one of the tops in the ACC.
I mean, just one of the most improved players out there. And she may not win most improved player in the ACC this season, but certainly she's going to be in the running for it and get some votes, as she has pulled SMU to within 15. Zara King just continuing to do work for SMU this year.
Well, she's come over from the University of California, making a big impact for the Mustangs. Only guard in the ACC, hitting over 50%.
Duffy says her program doesn't lean on flashy slogans or a long list of core values. Instead, everything centers on one simple standard, and that's do the work. She believes culture is built daily by everyone in the gym, from veterans to freshmen to the support staff. That means showing up with a positive attitude, making no excuses, and holding each other accountable. And Coach Duffy says some days they nail it and some days they have to reset, but the message never changes. Simply do the work. And Jim, these Hokies are doing the work with all those threes we just saw.
Bree averaging only 28% on their three-point attempts, but here tonight, 5 out of 10 for a very impressive 50% from three-point land. Makes a big difference. They're now hitting 40% on their overall field goals for the game to only 26.5% for the Mustangs.
Yeah, you take the right shots. A lot of them are going to go in, and Virginia Tech has moved the ball well in the second half, came blitzing out in the third quarter to take a huge lead. Freelon up to 16 points now, 2 shy of her career high.
John, it helps when your first 3 shots of the second half are from three-point land and you knock all 3 of them down. That's a good start.
No doubt. SMU trying to get into the offense, finally doing it with 9 on the shot clock as Brown has it dislodged. 5 to shoot it. King sidesteps, has it blocked by Suffern. Great defensive play, and Suffern out in transition. Back tap by Ja. Ball on the floor. Suffern the first to it and saves the possession. Good hustle both ways. Freelon muscling up. No. Offensive rebound, and it is torn away. Trent loses it. King up the floor with a Euro step and a blocking foul. Charged Mackenzie Nelson. Zara King heads to the line.
Well, Zara King with 7 points in the ball game. None of them have come easy here, taking it all the way in transition for the Mustangs. Good defensive positioning and transition D for the Hokies by Mackie Nelson. But nonetheless, King goes to the charity stripe for the Mustangs.
Zara King out of Brooklyn. Man, what a contrast in her freshman season at Cal to what she has done for SMU. She's the number 76 recruit in ESPN's Top 100 in 2024. Played a much smaller role at Berkeley a season ago. But here at SMU has been counted on in a grander way this season, especially as Ty Skinner started to be hobbled.
Yeah, I've said a couple of times, and this is so impressive, the only guard in the ACC hitting over 50% of her field goal attempts. That is an amazing statistic.
Ball knocked away from Wetzel, but she gets it back, and on the second effort, up the floor. And it is picked off by Abizam, and SMU comes out with a steal. Sanaya Ja one-on-one leaning in, poked around, and Suffern tracks it down. We're going coast to coast here. Suffern inside, foul. Could be on Gibson.
Suffern continuing her impressive play here tonight. Saw the opportunity to take it all the way to the rack, get to the charity stripe for the Hokies. Nice job reading that defense and just splitting the Mustang defenders. SMU has to watch their foul trouble with only 8 suited out here tonight.
Yeah, last season was off to a great start in her sophomore year for Virginia Tech, her first year under Megan Duffy, but got hurt 10 games into the season. And then it was about 300 days between games for her. Last 3 games, she has been outstanding. A scrappy, energetic defender, and now adding some offense as well.
Mustangs continue to try to set up out front with Gibson handling the basketball against Tech's tough man-to-man defense.
King has to turn away from it, up and under move to get to the left hand and score it.
Well, nice patient move that time by Zara King. She did not try to rush anything. That was a good possession by SMU.
Suffern in trouble, not to the floor. Nowhere to go, it's kicked. And, it's going to be a 10-second call before the kickball. And SMU forces the turnover. It's a mad scramble.
It was interesting. And at halftime, Coach Duffy talking to Bree said SMU is playing very scrappy here tonight. It's continuing here late in the third period. Great effort by the Mustangs. Confrontation on the hardwood.
You know, like we were talking about earlier, some teams would just kind of pack it in defensively, play a 2-3, try to stay out of foul trouble, but Adia Barnes has done everything she can to mix up the defenses, stay aggressive tonight, and be a factor in this game. SMU looking to be competitive, even only down to 8 players. Only 4 to shoot, so Brown has to hoist. Comes up short late in the shot clock. Suffern head up all the way in transition.
Yeah, Brown was kind of forced into that wild shot right there with very little time left on the shot clock. Tough situation.
King's second foul, SMU team foul number 5, and so Virginia Tech goes to the line for the rest of the quarter.
Saw Coach Duffy over there talking to Suffern on the sideline. I remember in our visit with her yesterday talking about her experience with the legendary Muffet McGraw as her coach at Notre Dame, and she said 2 things that she learned that she's applied in her coaching, and we've seen it here tonight, is how to apply tough love and how to always be totally prepared. And I think we've seen both of those here tonight.
Absolutely. Our colleague at the ACC Network, Muffet McGraw. And man, she's always even prepared in her after coaching exploits as well, whether it be as a speaker or, of course, as a broadcaster these days. SMU trying to make sure they had legally subbed here. Trying to get Thompson in the game. Meanwhile, Suffern up to make it 10 points, and she is in double figures for 3 of the last 4 games, has at least 9 in the last 4. Suffern's on a tear.
Well, she plays so smart, always in the right place at the right time. Very small, only 5'8", plays much bigger than that.
Megan Duffy says she's my jack of all trades. She's the first guard off the bench tonight. Suffern may have jammed a finger in there, trying to dislodge it from Jazzy Gibson. Gives Virginia Tech an 18-point lead. Gibson outside the arc. Abizam in the post. Facing up against Trent, backs her in, gives her the body, and Trent reaches in. Abizam heads to the line.
Another nice possession for SMU. I like the way Gibson backed that ball out on the wing, created room for this entry pass into Abizam. Abizam read the defense, moved quickly to the bucket. Nice possession for SMU.
Taking advantage of the 6'3" freshman in the post, and Abizam, who is one of the offensive rebound wonders in this league, 5th in the league in offensive rebounds per 40 minutes at 6.4. And then also a player that is top 5 in the ACC and just total offensive rebounds as well.